tide? Who cares about red tide?
Carina Brevis.
What's Carina Brevis?
That!
Whatever, man. I'm gonna go catch some waves.
Wait!
Yeah.
Well, let's ask our expert.
Red tide is a naturally occurring phenomena that happens. There are different types of red tide in each type of body of water. There are different species. So it just happens, it's there. There are different things that can make it worse or better. A lot of those are the type of nutrients that goes in the water, whether it's a freshwater species or a saltwater species, so does it live in the ocean or the Gulf of Mexico, or does it live in freshwater like some of our lakes? So there are different types that live in different areas. And there are tons and tons of different kinds. I am talking to kids, right? There are tons and tons of different kinds of red tides. They're not all red. Some of them you can't even see because there may not be enough of them in the group to give you a color. So sometimes you can't even see red tide. And here in the Gulf of Mexico, sometimes you don't even see it when you're swimming. But you do usually feel it because the ones here gives you a respiratory irritation, so you cough and you might have runny eyes or a sore throat just when you're around it, so just when you're at the beach. But there are tons of different kinds of red tide. Some of them are green, so if you live somewhere where there's lots of fresh water, sometimes during the end of the summer you might see green gooky stuff. We call it scum that sits on the top, and that can be a type of red tide too. It's just a blue-green algae tide.
See, Joe, I told you not to go swimming. Red tide.
So wait, can anyone swim during red tide?
That's a good question, Joe. Let's ask our expert marine biologist.
You can if you're not really sensitive to it, but you might want to check that out. Some people are more sensitive to swimming through it than others. Some people get a really bad rash, and they might get little swollen lips or swollen eyes like some surfers complain about getting. And some don't, and it could be the guy next to you doesn't, but you do, or you don't, but the guy next to you does.
So, my dog Spot goes swimming with me during red tide?
Spot, I would suggest, needs to stay home when there's red tide in town. The reason why is dogs are a little bit different than we are. Dogs can get the toxin that our red tide produces a couple of different ways. First of all, if he's swimming in it, when it gets out, he shakes, but it's still on him. And even if you're swimming in it, whether you have a reaction or not, whether you get a little rash or a little itch, it's always good to really, really rinse off in fresh water as soon as you get out of the water. And most beaches have some fresh water, so you really want to rinse off really good. With your dog, it's not just a matter of rinsing off because they have a fur coat on, right? So you have to get it out of their whole fur coat right away, otherwise they'll lick it. See, we aren't going to lick our skin, are we? Probably not. So you want to make sure your dog, if you take them during red tide and you didn't know it was red tide, make sure they're really, really clean right after you leave the beach, because they might lick that red tide off of their fur, and if they do that, they can get really, really sick. The other problem is, remember, they're really small compared to you. So their head is right there where all the toxin is in the foam. You know how there's a little foam when the waves come in? And that toxin is 10 times greater than what you experience in that foam. So you want to be careful of that. Plus, I don't know about your dog, but my dog, when he sees a dead fish, he might want to eat it. And you don't want him eating it because he can get really, really sick. Most of the veterinarians in this area, if your dog does get sick, know what to do right away. So make sure you call them. But I would suggest not leaving your dog at home. He's probably happier anyway at home.
Well, I guess my dog Spot has to stay home.
I never liked that dog anyway.
Yeah, you smell like what sucks. Oh hey, look, it's Clammy Carl.
The kids want some clams? They're fresh.
Those clams in the water?
got oysters too, fresh this morning. I just picked them up.
Well, let's see what our resident marine biologist has to say. Can we still eat seafood?
You definitely can eat seafood if you like seafood. And it's always good to try new things anyway. But seafood is really, really safe. It goes through a lot of different processes where it's safe for you to eat. Even if you're eating sushi, if you like, you know, little sushi rolls where it's raw seafood, it's still okay because it's monitored where it comes from by different organizations, usually both the state where it comes from and the federal government where it comes from. So even if it's not from the US, even if it's from someplace else, they monitor that. And then when it gets shipped over here to the US, it's monitored then too. So there's a lot of monitoring of seafood. So seafood's definitely safe. It's not going to be collected where there's red tide.
Isn't that right, Carl? Guess Carl has to go. Hey, there's our friends. Fish sticks and sea gumbo.
The type of animals that might get affected during red tide is certainly the fish, because they're swimming through it and they can't get away from red tide. Some of the bigger fish might swim around the red tide blooms. So a lot of sharks and cool big fish might go around it, so they wouldn't be affected. But the little fish, they can't really avoid a red tide bloom, so they might die from it. The other animals that are affected is certainly once those fish die, anything that eats them, like a seagull, that might have a problem. Sometimes they die, sometimes they don't. Sometimes we can find them in time to help them. And then sea turtles and manatee and dolphins, all of those can die. And a lot of times, like with your dog, the problem is not just that they're getting it in their mouths, but they're also breathing it.
Sounds like perennial brevis is really dangerous to sea life.
Yeah, it's a good thing our friends fish sticks and soup bowl are okay.
God, perennial brevis, you killed our friends!
Man, Katie, you poisoned me, you tainted our food. Gosh, is there anything good about you?
Is there anything good about him?
Positive factors for red tide. I'm not sure. You know, us people, we really only think of ourselves sometimes. So we don't know. You know, we see it as negative because it kills things. But maybe that's what the Gulf of Mexico and the ocean need, is sometimes they need things to die off. So maybe that's a positive thing. But I can't think of anything positive other than that.
There's just nothing good about you, bro.
Hey,
Well, I guess that wraps up our show.
hey, what's that supposed to mean? Can't think of anything positive. I'll show you positive.
Bye, everyone.
Ha ha ha.